What is going on, everybody? I am back with another video, and let me start out by saying I'm sorry I haven't put anything out for the last couple months. I believe the last time I put a video out was about 3 months ago, and it was about my trip across the loneliest road in America, US 50, across northern Nevada. But since then, I went back to Colorado and I met my mom out there, and we kind of carpooled back to Wisconsin, which is where I'm at right now. And my van is right here behind the camera, sitting right there outside of her garage. But anyways, I have been kind of laying low for the last 2 or 3 months here at my mom's house and doing some camping and fishing and hiking and exploring and traveling a little bit around here with my family and my friends. And I actually just got back from a short trip to New York City for my buddy's wedding. And shortly before I left, about a week before I left, I picked up a new toy, and that's what this video is going to be about. And that's what plenty of future videos is going to be about, is what I picked up. So let me go ahead and show you guys what I have, and let's talk about what I'm going to be doing to this thing. So right here in front of you is a 8x8 double wide snowmobile trailer I picked up first. Picked up this trailer for 400 bucks, and it is a tilt bed trailer, and it came with the plywood decking you see underneath all this stuff. And that's about it. That's what it came with. I brought this trailer back to my mom's and I put all the sides on, as you see here, the 2x4 siding, and I built this little step here for me to get into the trailer easier. And on this side, I put a wheel chock for my e-bike and some D-rings and stuff to strap my e-bike down to this. Normally I carry the e-bike on the front of my van, and I have a video about the rack I welded for that. But the problem was with the e-bike being on the front of the van is that it was just constantly getting smacked with bugs. And of course, if it's raining out and I'm driving, it's just getting pummeled with water. So luckily the bike has worked out fine. It hasn't really had any major issues other than me having to scrape bugs off of it all the time. I figured getting a trailer like this and being able to tow the bike behind me would be pretty cool and prevent a lot of those issues. But the real reason I got this trailer was because I had planned on getting a fishing boat for a while, and I thought I'd get the trailer, and then if I came across a deal while I'm here in Wisconsin, I'd pick up a boat, and if not, then I would either find one on my way back west or when I get back to Colorado. And luckily enough for me, I came across a really good deal on this 10-foot plastic pontoon boat. This is the Pond Prowler 10, and you can get these at Cabela's or Bass Pro Shops. And I just couldn't pass up the deal on this thing. These go for $800 new with the 2 seats, and that's it, plus tax. I was able to score this boat with the 2 seats, this trolling motor, Minn Kota 30-pound thrust, and a brand new battery right back here. So battery, boat, seats, trolling motor, 600 bucks. This here is my mom's Mercury 4-stroke, 2.5 horsepower boat motor, but it's on my boat right now because we're gonna be taking this thing out tomorrow and doing a little fishing and testing the boat out a little bit. I was able to take the boat out for one short trip one afternoon before I went to New York, and just using the trolling motor, get it out in the water, make sure it doesn't have any leaks, and make sure it floats, and make sure it does everything it's supposed to, and I had no problem. So I'm happy with that. But then the boat's just been sitting here for the last 10 days or so, and I haven't had a chance to take it out. So that is what we're going to be doing tomorrow, and maybe I'll take you guys along for a little ride. So anyways, let me step back a little bit and tell you what the plans are going forward. So a lot of people modify these boats to do all sorts of things with. I mean, you can do so much with these boats, and they're super sturdy and super fun to have, lightweight, easy to transport, and easy to manage, and it's perfect for me and a friend, or me and a friend and my dog, or me and my dog. And so I have some serious plans for this thing going forward, and I will try to make as many videos as I can, kind of showing you the progress I'm going to make on this thing. But for right now, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to get the boat off the trailer, because I have a Bimini top I'm going to be installing on this thing for shade. And I also have some T-track that I'm going to be installing for mounting things off the side of the boat. So instead of boring you guys with getting this boat off the trailer, I'm going to get everything off of the boat and get the boat off the trailer, and then I'll throw the camera back on here in a few minutes and show you guys kind of what the boat looks like by itself, and show you the process of getting this Bimini top installed. All right, so I have the boat here off of the trailer, First modification I did was installed these mats. These are just those tiled mats you can buy at Home Depot. They're like a foam, and I cut them to fit right in the center. That's a modification a lot of people do just to make it a little softer, and it's supposed to keep any water that comes into the boat kind of underneath those mats and channel its way back towards the drain plug. Underneath here are some channels like that. And this mat makes it more comfortable and makes things less noisy if you drop something or you're walking around in the boat. And the second modification I made was bought some ropes and got those tied up, one here in the back and one up there in the front. The previous owner actually installed these rod holders here. I'll be getting rid of those at some point once I get my T-track installed. But this is what the boat looks like, just sitting here on the ground, or how it would look sitting in the water. I think it looks very good. I think it's a much more modern design than their previous versions and a lot of the other plastic boats you can get. The only downside to this particular model is the boat is like sloped all around the front and the back. So it makes it hard to install things directly on the boat, which I'm okay with because I am going to avoid drilling holes in the boat as much as possible. And when I get the T-tracks installed, I'll have plenty of mounting points for the things that I need to mount, like an anchoring system and fishing rod holders and fish finders and all that sort of stuff. So anyways, that's what the boat looks like. Now here is all the supplies for the Bimini top I'm going to be putting on in this video, plus the T-tracks. These are the 4 T-tracks that I bought. And these guys are going to be installed somewhere along the edge here. I have one here, and I'll have one for the back. And between the two of these, let me just get the other one up there and show you. Between the front one and the back one, there's a gap. And somewhere in that gap is where the Bimini top is going to be mounted to the boat. Initially, when I bought the T-track, I was going to mount the Bimini top to the T-track so I could remove it easily and the brackets for it at any time, but I have rethought that today, and I'm going to mount the Bimini top directly to the boat. So that's where it's going to go, something like that. Now here's all the parts for the Bimini top. It comes with all these poles, all of these tools. I will put a link in the description for the top I used that I picked up, but this is the installation instructions. So it wants me to actually install the top and put everything together. This is one of the brackets that I already tried to put a screw into, a thumb screw that I was going to mount to the T-track, but since I'm not doing that, I have to get this out. It's kind of stuck in there right now. But these get mounted to the boat like that. And that is the pivot point for the Bimini top to pivot out of the way and lay down either towards the back or the front of the boat. So what I'm going to do here, guys, is shut the camera off for a minute and read these instructions and get these poles put together, and then we'll figure out where these guys are going to get mounted on top of the boat. All right, so there's the canopy itself, and I'm going to show you guys the process, but bear with me because I don't have a tripod except the little one that's on this camera, and I don't have anyone here to help me. So I'm going to try to walk you guys through this process. It shouldn't be too difficult to get things together so you can figure this out. First thing it wants us to do is slide these bars, these short bars with the little, I don't even know what you call these things, these little spring-loaded thumb things. They go inside here, so one in the front, one in the back. This particular canopy has a little tag up here that says front, and that's the brand, by the way, Kimimoto. So one goes in the front and one goes in the back. So the poles here do have little stickers on them indicating what they are. This one says L1 and this one says R2, and the instructions say to put L1 with L2. So you got the L1 here, and this should be the L2, the longer one, L2. So this piece here, this end here, gets bolted into this piece right here. So obviously I cannot do this on camera. So let me get this bolted together and I'll show you guys what's next. Actually, let me get this side done and the other side done, and then I'll show you what's next. All right, there we go. We have the two sets of poles here all together. They actually give you a screwdriver here with the kit, and there's a little hexagonal insert for the nuts. So you don't even need a wrench or anything like that to tighten them up. They are lock nuts. So we have L1 and L2 put together. where both of those bent out pieces should be facing the same direction. I also have the other one done. That would be the R1 and R2, same sort of deal. And now they want you to insert these into those pieces I put inside of the canopy already. The longer piece is going to point towards the front of the canopy, and that's how you know that this pole is going in the right spot. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull out this piece I put in here already, at least on this side. It's going to go right inside, pretty nice, just like that. And now I'm going to do the same thing to the back, feed this back through so I can get to it, and it's going to go right in this one. Cool. Now I should be able to take this canopy and kind of feed the other side through without tearing anything. And now I'm going to go to the other side and do the same thing. I'm going to set this like this with the taller piece angled towards the front, and I'm going to snap this one in this side. All right, that one's on. I had to turn the fan on over there because it is humid, and this back one's going to go on. There we go. Now I should be able to take this canopy, feed it through over here. So I'm going to check out the next instructions and we'll get back to you. All right, so the next part is pretty easy. It comes with 4 straps like this, and these have to get in here and bolted. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and show you guys what it looks like. So I have this first one on, and I just kind of looped it in there the best I could. I mean, not particularly fond of this design, but it just goes in there kind of like that. And I made sure that the buckle was facing the outside. And I'm gonna go ahead and do this all the way around, and then we'll move on to the next step. I knew this in advance, but this particular Bimini shade is not, it's too wide for the boat. So I attempted to duct tape the mounting posts to both sides. That way I can get it into position, but once I tried to get this side in the bracket here, that side ripped right off the duct tape. So what I decided to do is grab a ratchet strap here, which will keep the posts at the right width until I figure out where I'm gonna mount it. And we'll get the top up here. Hopefully everything will stay in place as I'm trying to see what this looks like here. It's pretty lightweight, so that's not really the issue. So that's pretty good. Now, some of my future plans include building some decks, a small deck on the back and a larger one on the front. So I have to take that into kind of into consideration while I'm thinking about where I'm gonna place this thing. So the back chair is always gonna remain lower than the front. The front one's gonna get raised up eventually. But the question is, where do I want this to be when it's laying down? That's the question. So do I want it in the front or do I want it in the back? If I put it in the back where it's located at right now, it is going to be too far out, that's for sure. I think the back is a good spot for it. Now there is a cover for this as well that came with the box. So I'll be able to get this all nice and tight, but I know it's gonna land where these poles are, and I'm gonna have an outboard motor on here that's gonna sit up quite tall. So I'm not really sure I want this far back. I think it has to go forward a little bit. The other option is to lay it towards the front. But I'm gonna have a trolling motor up front, and I'm gonna have a large fishing platform up here eventually. I think the back is where I want it. That's where there's gonna be a bunch of stuff already, the motor and other things. So I think I'm just gonna make a decision to put it in the back. So I'm gonna turn the camera off and I'm gonna adjust the stuff, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like then. All right, so we got a new angle here for you guys, and we got the things moved. I have the back of this about 6 inches from the rear transom, which should give me plenty of room to mount my boat here when I get it, and then when I build the deck on the back, this will just be able to lay right back here on that deck. But let's see what it looks like when I bring it up, because I haven't done this yet. I was waiting for you guys. So, you know, I'll be able to adjust this back like this, tilt it back like that, strap it in, and be good to go. Ultimately, I think that's a pretty good position. Now, let's say I wanted to store it in the front. It's gonna go way too far forward. But it might actually go over my trolling motor in case I need to ever put it there. So I do like this position. It's gonna look pretty cool in here, and it's gonna be a nice addition to this boat and some shade. So with that being said, y'all, I think I'm gonna get it screwed in so we can actually use this thing tomorrow. But the tape idea and the the tape idea with the ratchet strap really helped out a lot. So if you're struggling getting this lined up, ratchet the sides together so they're in the right position for your boat and go from there. I think this is going to be good. I think it's going to be good right where it's at. So I'm going to measure, drill holes, and get this thing in. And once I do that, I'll show you guys the last steps, which are fairly easy to secure everything down. All right, so I like the positioning of everything here where it's at. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the front piece of tape and make sure this front hole is center enough. And I'm gonna go ahead and screw it in. I'll be removing the screw in a little while to add some 3M marine sealant. Let's go do the other side. So I ended up moving that one over there up a little bit. And I'm just gonna eyeball it. It's like right there. Sometimes you just gotta eyeball stuff, if you know what I mean. Boom, it's in, that's great. Okay, now that I have the pilot holes there for those two, I can remove them and add my sealant, which is 3M Marine Adhesive Sealant, Fast Cure 5200. In case you're wondering what I'm using, there it is. I'm just gonna put it in the hole. That's the only place I'm gonna put it. The hole that I just drilled. I don't plan on there getting too much water in these holes anyways on the top of the boat, so I'm not super concerned, and I don't want to make a huge mess with this stuff because it is nasty. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that screw, and I'm going to squirt some right in the hole here. Just a little dab should be all you need. I'm going to screw it back in. And I'm just going to clean up the little adhesive that kind of squirted out around the screw. That'll be good enough for now. Now I'm gonna go do the other side. And I'm just gonna put a little dab in this hole, right on top of the bracket even. And the threads of the screw should get it down in where we want it. There we go. Now I can flip this over and do the other side. I am just gonna make sure that this is lined up straight where I want it, so it looks halfway decent. And we'll get her screwed in first, and then we'll add our sealant second. I'm just pushing on the bracket a little to bring it out. There we go. Let's reverse it. Put just a little dab of that in there. The dab will do ya. And put the screw back in. Go ahead and wipe this off. All right, guys. Well, there you have it. I'm gonna get my camera all nasty. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the last screw on the other side, and then we'll have to get the other brackets installed. All right, guys. I got the 4 main screws in, so I think I can take off the ratchet strap now, and it should stay in place. Real quick, let me show you something. This will all be personal preference, but the package comes with 4 of these. And this is where those straps connect to. So depending on how you want to set it up, you're going to screw these 4 in near each strap and decide where you want them so you can secure the straps down. Now the straps are adjustable, so if you want to tilt the Bimini top back like this so you have more fishing clearance up front, or you want to tilt it more like this so you have more fishing clearance in the back, or you want it like this so you can just have shade all around, or however you want to do it, you can do it. It's going to make a difference where you put these. So I'm going to decide where I'm putting these off camera, and I'm going to get them installed just like I just screwed those things in. Drill the pilot holes, put the sealant in, re-screw them in, and when I get everything done, I will show you guys what the final product looks like. Ta-da! All right, guys, so I got the top all installed. As I mentioned, I got all the other pieces where I want them, and I decided to put mine on the outside of the boat because why not? I mean, it'll make these cables extend further out side of the boat, which is nice. Looks pretty good. Pretty happy with it, to be honest. And the install was pretty easy. That's how she looks. You can adjust it all you want, all sorts of different ways, by tightening or loosening the front straps, tightening the back straps, or vice versa. I know it's hard to get a good angle in here with my trailer in here and everything, but she looks pretty good. And she's gonna serve a purpose, which is, you know, keep the sun off you when you're trying to enjoy yourself on the water. So here's the front ones. Maybe I should have put these further up front. I don't know. I didn't want them too far up here. I didn't want them like way up here where the line was gonna go like too much of an angle and screw up the cast. But you can easily cast off to the front and the sides. From the front, that's not a problem. And from the back, honestly, if you're facing backwards, you can definitely cast off the back as well without worrying about these straps too much. So I think it'll be worth the investment to have this for those hot days when you just want to be out of the sun but be fishing. So, all right, well, I'm running out of time and I got to get to Ace Hardware. I got to get some cable connectors for the trolling motor. I have to get some bolts for the T-track. Meanwhile, let me show you this. This is one of the T-tracks. So this is going to go, one of them is going to go back here somewhere. I'm not sure on placement yet. And the other one is going to go up front, and obviously on both sides, but this actually worked out really well, this placement, because this T-track will actually work there, but right up against the bracket for the Bimini top, and it'll come out like that. It'll stick out just a little bit, but that's okay with me. It is just a tool to mount things to here in the future. So looking pretty good. I got to go get some stainless steel bolts for them so I can get those installed, or stainless steel screws, I guess. And some other things I have a list on my phone. I'm gonna go do that and we'll get that installed. I'll show you what that looks like when it's done. I'm gonna use the same method I did with those. I'm going to lay them out where I want them to. I'm going to drill the holes. I'm gonna unscrew them, fill them with marine sealant, and then I'm going to screw them back in. So I'll just do it off camera. When I get it done, I'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll be able to mount things to it here in the future. What else can I say? Whew, it's hot, that's what I can say. But tomorrow, I'm going out in the boat with my mom. So I'm gonna get all this stuff back on the trailer tonight and get it ready for the morning. And I will take you guys along for the ride and show you kind of like what this thing looks like and how everything works out on the water. So we'll see you tomorrow in the same video. Good morning. So last night I got a bunch of other things done on the boat. Let's take a look real quick. So I have my T-slots, T-tracks set up there. There's one. There's another one hiding behind the rods for the Bimini top there. And I got my mom's motor on here for today. And I got the other T-slots over here. Those are for future mounting of items. So that's all good. I put some quick connectors up here. This wire runs through the boat to the back battery over there. That way I can disconnect this and move it to the back and connect it back there if I want to put the trolling motor back there until I get my own motor in the future here. So that's done. And I installed 2 eye hooks here, one on this side, one on this side, all with 3M 5200 marine grade adhesive. And they run all the way through the transom here up front with a nut on the back of both sides there. This way I can get a straight line here when I'm pulling the boat up. So that's what that's for. And I think that's about it. So got the boat all strapped down. Everything's ready to go. I'm gonna be loading this up to my van here pretty soon, and we're gonna take off and go do some fishing and do the second time out on the boat, but this time with a gas motor, 2.5 horse, and my Bimini top and whatever other features I have up there. So we'll take it out and check it out today and see how things go.